the very famous Ubu Roy, um, died in 1907. I thought that he was a surrealist, but apparently he is a guy who was involved in symbolism.
Hmm.
And yeah, so pretty crazy. Anyway,
Fascinating.
hello Ben.
Hello, Paul.
So
Wow, that's
all
quite the
four
delay.
tracks. Oh no, really?
Yeah, I mean, I can hear myself through your headphones about a second and a
Oh,
half to 2 seconds after I say it.
oh no. I didn't realize.
Your
Uh,
headphones must
I
be
don't know
up
what to do.
really high.
Probably.
Yeah.
Um, so, oh, speaking about being up really high, it's Edward. Oh, here he is, everybody.
So yeah, like you were saying, all four tracks have made it through the creative
Yeah,
process.
and I have a thought of what we could
Yes,
do.
because you texted me earlier today saying that you had an idea that we would talk about.
I
Is this
feel
your
like
idea?
even yes, I feel like our what we've assembled so far is still too listenable. And not weird enough
Right.
to be completely off-putting. So here's my thought. You know how I talked about slowing it down to an hour? I'm
Right.
not saying that we do that. First of all, there are two vocal tracks of mine, right?
Two vocal tracks of yours, yes.
We could make one of them really tinny, like through going through a megaphone or an AM radio kind of sound to separate the two, right? Although we could make them both the same, I'm talking about like running them through a filter or something so that they sound different. But having the two of them merge together might be okay. But that's not the main thing. The
Okay.
main thing is we make it into a palindrome by running the four music tracks, right? Running them, I mean, sorry, the two music tracks, running them both forwards and backwards.
So
So
it's
that
an
the
hour
drums.
long.
Oh, I wasn't thinking. So I mean, we could make it an hour long, or they could overlap each other, so that you're listening to the reverse drums at the same time that you're listening to the regular drums. A
If
cacophony.
if you want to experiment with this, I mean, the album is called "I Have an iPad." It has GarageBand on it. You have an iPad, Paul. It has GarageBand on it. You have access to all the tracks. Go ahead and do it.
I have not been able to I haven't been able to put the tracks onto my GarageBand. I know that this sounds crazy, but I can't import a WAV file into GarageBand. I can't figure out how to do it.
It is tricky. It you have to like I had to copy it from. I decided to Dropbox on my iPad, copy the file, and then paste it into like my garage files for GarageBand inside GarageBand on the iPad.
Oh no, but that's exactly what I did though. And I still couldn't. How did you from GarageBand? What did you do? Hey, welcome to
Oh,
Tech Talk with Ben. What did you do in order to do
actually,
that?
hang on. Let me go get my iPad and I'll show you. Hang on a sec.
Okay. This is going to be great. Ben is going to get his iPad, everyone. For those of you on the stream, and I don't think there's any of you, look, you can look at my dog. This is Edward. He's so cute. Having a good time. Ooh, look at that little tail wag. He's having a good time too. Yep. Um, so yeah, he's running to get the one thing of course, Ben, is that I thought it would be great if the song "I Have an iPad with a GarageBand" I have an iPad with GarageBand on it was the name of the album, and yet GarageBand was never used by me. That was part of the fun. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually see it.
Well, see, I'm going to try something fancy, and the app crashed. I'm actually going to show my screen if I can get this thing to work.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
In which case, you'll be able to see it. But it looks like that app is crashing. So let me just close everything.
Because exactly what I was going to do, Ben. But I'm a firm believer in the fact that we now have the 4 tracks established. I don't want to mess with it too much. But what I was going to do was take it all in and slow it down. And when I tried to move it, I actually had the file in there, but when I was making it, it wouldn't allow me to open it as a new song. And when I went into GarageBand itself, there was no option for importing a file that I could see.
Yes, it is in there. I had to Google it.
Oh, geez.
Hang on. This isn't working in one way. I have to do it a different way. So what I'm doing now, I'm doing Wirecast, and on my iPad, there's an app called Wirecast Go, and where I can just use my iPad as a camera.
Oh.
And I'm wondering if that would be. Oh, now hang on. Would that allow my screen to be shown? We'll see. Let's go. Linky do. All right, and then this may just actually show my camera and not the screen, but we'll see. Anyway, there's a button you got to push. This is fascinating. Every app on my iPad is crashing right now.
Huh.
My iPad is not working.
Oh no.
That's not it.
My crazy
iPad is
idea.
My iPad is not working is the name of our second album.
Yeah. And that is done all the way on an iPad.
I'm just gonna stop.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, a lot of what went into this album was us not actually being able to time it, or when I say we, I mean me, able to like bring it into GarageBand. That was a problem.
Yeah.
Problem that I was having.
You have to restart this thing. So what you do, and I'm going to restart the iPad here because for whatever reason, is every app is crashing. I can't open anything.
Yeah.
Which is a delight. There is when you're in
Groove
the track.
is in the heart.
When you're in the track delight. When you're in the track mixer mode, there's a little icon to insert loops. You hit that icon for loops, and then there's an option for files. And then that points towards your GarageBand files. So you got to go to your GarageBand for iOS folder on your iPad, and then there's a folder called like Transfer to GarageBand, and you load the track there. And only will it see it.
I have your track in Transfer to GarageBand, so it's already in the correct folder. I just didn't do the loop thing. I didn't know the loop thing. That was the thing I was missing.
Yeah, that's what I had to Google. Hey, Edward.
So are you saying, Ben, that you want me to do this and then send you the completed?
Wow, I mean, you came up with this idea, so yeah, you know what you want.
Do I though? Do I really? No, I don't know.
I think
maybe I do.
All right, so I restarted the iPad. Here's the it's loading. Yeah. Here's the project. And then, if I play it.
Oh shoot. I'm recording. Hey Ben, this is Paul. So I have your drum track.
All right. So yeah, this little icon, this loop icon right there.
Yeah.
And it says, so it'll say Apple loops, files, and what's the other one? Music. That's where, and then it's really clever. You just drag and drop.
Okay.
For next time. I wonder if this will work now. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Are you trying to pull my my loop in?
No, since I was trying to do something clever with Wirecast here, I'm trying again. Now that it's working. So, yep, there's my iPad. And you won't be able to see this, but the people at home will be able to see this. Or not. And it just crashed again. Anyway, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. So, yeah, if I had the presence of mind, do it. So here's the thing. I'm fighting my own laziness, perhaps. So the thing I'm thinking about
Yeah.
is I have a track of everything that you've got, right? The first track, which has 3 things in it. So all I'd really need to do, I would need to pull I have my audio file that I sent to you.
Yeah.
So all I would need to do is pull that down. You know what?
I can send you the GarageBand file.
Well, you could, or I could just run upstairs and get my iPad really quick. While I'm gonna keep talking to you, but the people won't see me. Yeah, this will work, Ben. This will work. Because the thing is that I will have you captured here, at least for a little bit, to help me troubleshoot if I do something incorrectly. I'll be like, Ben, this isn't working. It'll be really exciting. So yeah, let me pull this down. And the other issue is that I don't have any headphones that work with my iPad, because my iPad has the C charger thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, I have a refurbished one which still has the headphone port.
Ah, that's nice. Okay, so here we go. I'm turning it on. Ooh la la. No, but really, I have powered up, and so now I'm in GarageBand. I'm going to create song. Go to. All right, so here we go. Create song.
Yeah.
And go to tracks, I guess. And what would I do then? Would I go to sound library? No. What would I start with, Ben?
Hang on, I'm playing. The people in the stream can actually see Annex right now. What do you want to start with? What are you trying to do? I'm sorry, I wasn't really.
I'm trying to import that audio track.
Okay, so you might have to create a new track, and
okay, I'll just create a regular keyboard track.
Actually, it won't work with a keyboard track. It has to be, let's see. It has to be.
And then files.
Audio.
Use part 2.
Audio recorder. Use the microphone or record your voice or any sound. That's the track that I used because it seemed to work.
I'm recording. Hey, Ben. Oh, shoot.
Okay, so let's start again.
Sounds like you got it.
Well, no, I just don't. I don't have it. So what would you? Audio recorder. So audio recorder.
Yeah.
And then I go back to the thing, and then I hit loops.
Oh,
So, yeah, I forgot. Oh, shoot. Oh, dang it. I just deleted it. Oh,
You
come
deleted
on. Yeah, I dragged it and deleted it.
it.
Jesus.
Can't take you
Okay.
anywhere.
So here we go. I'm going to recently deleted drum track. No, on my iPad. Okay. GarageBand for iOS. Okay. So it wasn't listed. It isn't in recently deleted, but I can find your thing. So let me find the thing that you had. Ben Lawrence links for today. That's not it. There's Ben Lawrence. I made a song GarageBand. Okay, here we go.
That's what I did.
Click to download. Okay, I'm gonna use Chrome. Download will begin shortly. What are you doing? Okay, download. Start your download. Okay.
When I was recording the drum track, I actually stopped and started probably a half dozen times.
Uh-huh.
And then when I recorded the synthesizer track, I basically just sat in front of the TV with the iPad on the ottoman and just basically mashed the keys, changing the instruments, changing the pitch and the tone, and yeah, that was actually a lot of fun.
So open in saved files, and then GarageBand file transfer.
Yeah.
Save.
Okay. I'm getting some frustrating technical things going on right now. This is a new system that I'm working on, and also we have a big event coming up on Saturday. As you know, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. That you know about, Paul. Or at least you should. Of course, I'm referring to the Annex Games Chapter 4.
Why am I not able to? Jesus Christ. Okay. Loops. Why is this not allowing me to do it?
I know, it's frustrating.
Okay, I'm going to shut down GarageBand. I'm going to look at my files. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of me groaning to people, apparently. Matt groaning.
The latest track. That's our new song. It's just
right,
Paul grunting and groaning for a half an hour.
So...
It's about technology, people. Settle down.
Browse items from the Files app. Oh, here we go. Why is there a part 4?
Part 4.
Yeah, that's not correct.
It might have been versioned. I don't know.
Now there's a part 5? None of this is good. I'm deleting all these. Files, browse from the Files app.
I'm getting real close to recording on it, but the first time that I tried it, I made a mistake. And the mistake was that I didn't actually...
Let's actually skip ahead. Let's...
Unsupported. Unsupported.
Something that I felt comfortable doing, like I was not in the position of where I could do it. So I never became a rapper, even though Cool Breeze told me to do it. But I have written several raps that I think are good. And I have one
Okay, so really, all we need to do, Ben, just to make this easy,
by our own art.
just to make this easy, Ben.
Yeah.
Just take that other loop that I sent you, or that other audio track, and lay it over the rest of it, and we're done. That's all we need to do. Do you still have it? Let's finish this. Let's finish this right now.
The whole thing, yeah, it's all there.
Oh, it's even the thing that I just recorded.
The thing you just that's this bottom track right there.
Spam. I've never fed it to him, but I don't would probably eat it. probably Moku Soweli.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Edward Moku Soweli.
So,
Pepperoni.
yeah.
So the one thing I want to make sure about, make sure the drums and the synthesizer are loud enough, so that I'm not overpowering.
Well, no, the tricky part was being able to hear you at least. For the track that you sent me that I loaded in just today, it's real quiet.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So I had to just
so
make
yeah,
sure I
we're
heard
done.
everything.
We did it,
Yeah,
Ben.
we did it.
Hooray.
All right, on to the next one.
I'm excited.
After 22 minutes, hey. And we had Chris for a while. I just now saw the YouTube chat, but I don't think
Wait,
I don't
Chris?
think they're with us anymore. Chris Nill?
Chris? Oh, hey, Chris.
Yeah, Chris lives in Las Vegas these days. They moved
Really?
down there.
Hey, pour one out at Omega Mart for me, because I still haven't gone, and I want to see it.
Alrighty.
So yeah, that's great. So yeah, I think this is great. Listening to me talking twice, one over the other one, should be disorienting enough. And here's the thing. I honestly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, Ben, I even say it in the album somewhere. But when I was listening to that with your drums and the synthesizer, I'm like, this is the only music that should be in here.
No, we need like
the
danger uke or something, providing another melody.
No, not for this one. Not
All
for
right.
this one, Ben.
So for the next one, you start. I started this one.
Oh,
The next
okay.
one, you start.
All
It'll be
right.
a series.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, and if it's a series, then if each individual one isn't perfect, no one's going to care. It'll be great. Yeah. Sure. I'll do it. I'll do one and I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to start recording it right now in the middle of our podcast, even though that
The
was
podcast the recording.
Exactly. Yeah. No thanks. Hey, we've been making tons of these, Ben. Just layer them one on top of one another. It'll be great.
There will be some synchronicity at some points, I'm sure.
Yeah. For sure.
You know,
Edward's gone.
If you play Dark Side along with Wizard of Oz, it lines up, man. If you play GudeLaurance episode 392 and on top of episode 12, man, it jives.
Did you ever hear my story about how my friend of the podcast, Andy, and I were talking about how you could probably use it with anything and it would work? And we picked Koyaanisqatsi and the Teletubbies, and it worked so well.
Yeah,
The
I remember
soundtrack
when
of Koyaanisqatsi and the Teletubbies together.
I remember when the whole, well, at least when I got word of the Dark Side Wizard of Oz synchronicity, and like I bought the CD and the DVD and did what you were supposed to, and when you're looking for those kinds of things, you'll find it. So I did that too. I don't remember what other ones that I put together. It was probably like, I don't know, Soundgarden and Ghostbusters or something. And like when you're looking for things that line up, you'll find them. Like numerology.
Yeah, and I think that, and I'm serious about this, with AI being what it is, like that, Ben, killer app. You wouldn't have to tweak it too much to make those things work together. But yeah, sync audio and video together and make them work together.
Make them work
with
together.
no clear agenda. Yeah.
Right.
It's hard to describe, but basically, yeah, you have a video track and you have an audio track, and it makes tweaks to the audio track and the video track to get them more in sync. So instead of doing what you're supposed to do, which is like make a person's face lip sync to new audio, it just makes the cuts on the beat. It extends it a little bit. It does stuff so it makes it so that you can listen to something and it all works out. Yeah, it makes it so that you can listen to something, Ben, and it all works out. Hey, that's right. So I just want to note you spelled Tokipona wrong. I know that you don't necessarily care.
You know what? If I cared, I would have looked it up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it's Toki. Tokipona.
How did I spell it? Also, you read the show notes?
Every once in a while. Tokey. Here's the thing. I wanted
like
to
pokey.
know if I had referenced the fact that I had a haircut or not.
Oh, I see.
And I did.
You talked about it. I may not have written it down, or maybe I did. I don't know. Sometimes I can get verbose in the show notes. Sometimes it's pretty Spartan.
I really like it when you do right.
You know,
tons of stuff.
I think one thing I might start to do is just putting each episode through a transcription service and just putting the transcript of the entire show on the webpage for that show.
Oh, Ben, can you imagine?
Because there's I know there are a number of websites where it'll spit that out in like 5 minutes. And you don't correct it, it's just a block of text. It'll identify who's who. So it'll say like person 1, person 2.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Maybe I'll try that for this one.
Yeah.
Problem is though,
big ol' clear cockendish. But you look and imagine age banketing. Hagen or your So we'll see what
speak Swedish.
Yeah, exactly. The
issue that I see though is that the RSS service that we use grabs everything on the web page, so it'll actually everybody in their iTunes will get the entire transcript.
That's funny. That's nice. They will hate it, and they will hate us. And everything will be fine.
Is that not the point of the show?
Say anything, or did he just show up?
They're still here.
It is really.
Poolside in a European hospital.
Oh, hey, Chris.
They're trying to work.
What?
There. A European hospital.
This is the fancy. Wait, what?
I think it's a European.
If you're trying to work there. Sorry, go ahead.
I think it's a European-styled hostel in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
But it's only $750 a month.
Really?
Man, $750 a month. My rent in my house was cheaper than that 20 years ago.
$750 a month is $100 less than how much we're spending to rent this house in Edwardsville.
Yep.
And Jennifer wants to move.
Yeah, you mentioned
the house is too small. So we'll see.
And fortunately, Jennifer doesn't listen to the show anymore, so I can say, why don't you just clean the house? You might get more space.
Yeah. Oh, why? I mean, why don't I clean the house?
Why don't you, Paul Goody, clean the house?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think about it sometimes. Well, there's a lot of stuff that could be moved.
Well, also, you're waiting for are you still waiting for job uncertainty to pan out before you move?
I am. Here's the thing: as long as I'm on the contract I'm currently on, I don't want to move yet.
Correct.
Because it's there's a possibility of something. Here's the thing: if this is the crazy bit, right? If this other thing pans out, it could be a longer deal, right?
Yeah.
In which case I would be staying here longer. In which case moving somewhere else here makes sense. But again, my big thing is that I kind of don't want it's so weird, Ben. I sort of like the idea of living in a van or a boat or whatever, like a thing that you can, cart around and all that,
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than a house. But in other, times, I love to cocoon. I love to never leave my house. So, the whole thing is kind of weird.
I was
I love
flirting.
books.
You love books. You have things that you like to do, stuff that you like
Yeah.
to own. I was flirting recently with the idea of taking an entire summer off and driving around and seeing a baseball game in every single ballpark in the U.S. and Canada. There's one in Canada.
Oh,
And
that's kind of cool.
like I'm like, so I'd have my car and I, get a. But I mapped it out actually. I took this current season and I mapped out the route that I would take, and it would take all basically summer from March, from like the beginning of March to the end of September on the road that entire time. And I'm like, well, that's
how would you podcast from there?
There's got to be Wi-Fi somewhere.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about, I couldn't get a hotel room every night because, by getting a hotel room for 6 months, every night for 6 months is just too expensive. Why not get like a car or a van to live in while I do that?
Exactly. Have a little bed.
Totally.
And you could call it the ball bus.
The ball bus.
And you have a picture of a baseball on it. Wait a second, hold on. Let me think about this. I might have gone the wrong way. Ben's ball bus. There you go. That's much better.
It's a banger.
But Jesus Christ. So yeah, but make it a thing, right? I think I mentioned this to you before, that I always want to have an excuse to, like, if we were going to be there, there's this urban exploration stuff, right, where people go to different places, abandoned buildings, and look at stuff and all that. And I was like, if I was going to do that, I would get some ghost hunting equipment and say that I was a ghost hunter. And that way, if the police said, "What are you doing in here?" I could say, "I'm a ghost hunter," and then I wouldn't get in trouble. The same thing, if you have well, probably not. If you have a baseball painted on your van and, had a little name on it and all that, when the police say, "Why are you sleeping in this parking lot?" and you say, "I'm visiting every baseball stadium," and then they'll go, "Oh, that's cool. My grandpa used to take me to games," whatever, instead of, "Yeah, right, whatever.
Yeah, right, buddy, get out. The
We're
Walmart's
repossessing your van." Exactly. Wait, okay, so let me ask you a question. Why are they telling you where the Walmart is in this situation? Can you explain what you're thinking?
Yes, my thinking is, and I don't know if this is still true, but in van culture, Walmart parking lots were considered safe places to overnight because Walmart did not kick you out. They actually let you park your van or your RV or whatever, because Walmarts have giant acreages of parking, right? So you just put your, you park your RV out on the outer edges. And I don't think Walmarts are open 24 hours, but they got pretty late hours. So, if you need to, go in, use the bathroom, buy some water, buy some toilet paper, Yeah, but I've heard lately, I've seen a couple of, like, van life and urban camping videos on YouTube. Apparently, Walmart is kind of cracking down on this thing. I guess
it's
people...
one of those...
People are like taking too much advantage of it, and they're not like staying a night or 2 nights. They're staying months in Walmart parking lots.
Yeah, I think that just as a general rule, it would behoove you to be in a new place every night. I know that doesn't really work necessarily, but unless you're at a relative's house or something like that, a new place every night.
That's what I was thinking about. Like, I don't in this fantastical trip that I probably will never take because I'm pretty sure I couldn't live 6 months in a vehicle, let alone a couple weeks.
I could.
I would only like overnight in parking lots or at rest stops for one night. If I was going to stay in a city for multiple nights, then, I might get a hotel room or stay with friends, that kind of thing. But those would just be passing through nights.
I'm worried. I actually didn't drink water before I came down. Normally I do. So I'm not that worried. But
I do throughout the show.
Every time I have a cough now, I am concerned because the COVID numbers are climbing back up in this area. They're at the point that they were in July of 2021 before a big spike happened. And I mean, they're going up. As you know, Betty will get the principal right and say this many COVID students. And they've been consistent. One COVID student, 2, 8, and then another 2, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But no one is wearing masks anymore. I am wearing a mask. I am one of the few people that wears masks.
Jennifer posted to Facebook a picture of Betty's band recital, and I noticed that Betty was the only one wearing a mask in that picture.
Yep. That's right. Yeah, nobody else does.
Rule from mom and dad that Betty must wear a mask, or is that
a rule from dad?
Yeah,
maybe, or just modeling behavior. Because I still do it. But yeah, I mean, it's to the point now where I'm getting weird looks from people. They're still doing it.
I went to an improv show last night at Unexpected Productions.
In hold on, Pike Place Market.
Exactly.
That's where they used to be. Yeah.
That's where they still are too. And because I live just a few blocks away, so I thought I'd go see it. And it was a show with Matt Smith and Joe Guppy, and so I wanted to see those two improvise. And
I don't know if I know Joe Guppy.
He's an old sketch comedian. He was like with Almost Live from the very beginning. And his wife is Nancy Guppy, who was with Almost Live like throughout the entire run.
Nancy Guppy, I know. That's what. Okay.
Yeah. So Joe's her husband, and they did he and Matt did a show. It was so the first half it was just Matt and Joe. And in the second half, it was Matt and Joe and like 3 members of the UP ensemble, doing improv things. And they did the space did not have a mask requirement. I would say I wore my mask, but I would say probably about 50 to maybe 60% of the audience members were masked.
Wow. Okay.
Surprising for Seattle, but I think it's also like indicative of just how tired people are of this whole thing and how much, regardless of what it means to your health, how much people want to get back to normal.
Well, that's the thing, is that people are going to start treating it like this is the thing that always got me, and it's telling, I think, of mindset. Whenever people would say that COVID was just like the flu, it always struck me as being weird or not weird, but annoying, because people treat the flu like it's nothing, and it isn't.
Right.
People showing up to work with the flu and all that kind of stuff. I used to have, when I had social media, I would retweet a post that I made way before COVID saying, everybody who comes to work sick is dumb and I hate it, and all that kind of stuff, basically, because it was important in my mind to call out the folks that were getting the entire office sick because they didn't want to stay home, even though they were salaried.
Well,
like I get it if people are living paycheck to paycheck and need to get their hours in and all that. Hate it, but that's the system. That's not them as people.
I think that culture is changing, though. I think it's no longer a badge of honor to show up when you're just dog sick.
No. I really think that's one good thing that COVID did, is get people out of that mindset.
Yeah. Because I did that all the time. I would show up to work unless I was like just couldn't get out of bed or just didn't want to go into work for whatever reason. I would show up if I were ill. I wouldn't make it a point being like, "Hey, I'm sick, but I'm here." I would just be, I would show up because that's what you did.
Yeah. Once I got a laptop that I could take home, I would always call in sick and work from home in those situations. Not the least of which is to spare everyone from having to see and hear me when I would be sick. But that's that's another story. So I'm going to be, by the time that the audience listens to this, I'm going to be 49 and on my way to 50.
Yeah, your birthday is on Sunday.
Yeah. When you're 50, for sure. I would say even when you're 49, there's no question that you're middle-aged at that point. I mean, even if we have life extension technology and stuff and we get a little bit better, 100 is still pushing it, I think.
Yeah. It's still a milestone.
If nothing else, overstaying your welcome a little bit. Like, you might be fine. I'm 100 years old and everything's great, but there are other people going, come on, man. I want a chance at having your stuff.
I'm tired of taking care of Grandpa.
Sorry. Exactly. That's right. Oh, come here and help Grandpa chew his food, or whatever.
Welcome to America, where we don't take care of our old people.
Yeah, that's something. I still think that being I was thinking about this the other day, man, and this is going to get a little dark, but not really, right? I was thinking about our fear of death.
Yeah.
Right? Our fear of death. When we lose consciousness, right? When you get put out because you're getting surgery, you lose consciousness, right? You're not there and then you come back, kind of, and all that.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if you have ever been put under, you shouldn't necessarily fear death because the act of losing consciousness has happened to you before, right? The fear of never coming back online again is something, but again, if it happens to you, then it'll happen to you and you won't necessarily care anymore.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things because everybody, like, my biggest fear of, like, if I ever had to have surgery, my biggest fear wouldn't be, am I going to wake up from this? My biggest fear would be waking up in the middle of it.
Yeah. Apparently that happens.
Yeah.
But lots of anesthesia works as an amnesiac as well.
I heard this terrible story about this guy who was, I don't remember what kind of surgery it was, but it was like, I don't know, it was like he had to have like a bowel resection or something. And for whatever reason, he was not unconscious, but he was unable to move. So he was awake during the entire thing, could feel the pain of the entire thing, but could not tell anybody because he was paralyzed.
Wow.
And had to go through like years of therapy to get over that trauma.
I could imagine. That's crazy.
That's what I'm afraid of. Not like, going to sleep and not waking up. That sounds actually rather peaceful.
I feel like yeah, true. I feel like that might be what you're describing is something I was thinking about as far as the afterlife goes, an eternity of the afterlife. Is what if the chemical process of your brain and your passage of time and all that when you die, all that slows down so much, just like the arrow that never reaches its target, that you stay like that forever, right? in that second before the actual death,
Yeah.
because this is an example. Again, back when I was on TikTok before I got rid of my account, there was an account that I watched called My Life is an RPG, and one thing that they talked about was the fact that there's nothing outside the universe. And when we say there's nothing outside the universe, we really mean there is no outside of the universe.
Right.
Because what we describe as the universe, it's not a math thing, it's a definition thing. The universe is everything
Right.
that exists. And so what's outside the universe? There is not a thing outside the universe. Which doesn't mean it's infinite. It's actually most likely a toroidal shape, they're thinking, folds in on itself, kind of. It's pretty cool. Pretty interesting thing. But again, in the end, not so. I keep thinking about this. If there are galaxies, right, that are so far away that we can never reach them, does their existence in space matter as much? Could they almost be the same as a fictional thing if we could never reach them?
But yet we have confirmation that they're there in some
Exactly.
way. Yeah, I think it's different knowing that there's something out there versus not knowing, even though that they're unattainable. I think that would that would probably mess with a lot of people's religion. But yeah, just knowing that we aren't alone in the universe might either be frightful or comforting to some people, regardless of whether or not we can make contact.
Imagine if you will that they find there's a big thing. There's a big thing. The big thing is alive. You will never ever talk to it, but it's out there.
Yeah.
How would that make you feel?
Is it coming for me?
It's coming for you, but it will never reach you. You will die before it actually reaches you.
Exactly. Or you'll die of natural causes before it ever reaches you.
Oh yeah, that's true. I like the idea of you dying.
Well, I mean,
you specifically, Ben, dying.
That's what they say about like the sun exploding, right? They say that our sun is going to explode in however many billions of years and swallow the Earth with it. But nobody's going to care. Nobody cares about that. Our sun is a dying star, but nobody cares because we're going to be long gone before it croaks.
There was a and I forget what it is, which body it is, but some celestial body of some kind is going to explode at some point. And people were freaking out about it. And the person said, don't worry. If it explodes, you will be dead long before it actually affects you at all. You won't even see it explode. And then somebody said, how do we know then that it hasn't exploded already? And the answer was really interesting, which is that we know how these things go. Like there's a pattern. And the pattern that it's exhibiting is of something that will explode soon, but has not yet exploded. Like even when you recalculate for the distance that it is away from us, it has not exploded yet. So, and it's funny, this is one of those things of what does time matter when you're dealing with something that you'll never reach to? But as things are happening right now to us, it is still not exploding.
Well, it's also funny because, it might have already exploded. We just haven't seen it yet.
No, this is what they're saying. It hasn't. Because what we can see of it right now is not something that will have exploded by the time its light reaches us, which is crazy. Oh, and that's actually another interesting thing because of the speed of light is a limit, right? It's not just the speed of light. There's a whole bunch of and that's why it's c c is the speed of light, but it's also causality, I think it is. I don't know if it's causality. I don't know if that's right. But the c stands for something, which I believe is causality. But there are a bunch of
Constant?
things. Light is one of them, but
Yeah.
there are other things. I want to say it's causality, but I could be wrong. Constant, I don't think so. But basically, the thing is this: it's a speed limit. The way that the universe is, nothing can go faster than it. And this is one of the arguments that people were asking about. Well, nothing that we know of. And they're like, no, nothing. There are things that we haven't figured out yet and things that we haven't discovered, but something that goes faster than light isn't one of them. Because that's the speed limit of the universe. You can't do it. And I found that interesting. That there are some things that are unknowable, but other things that we actually do know of. Is someone communicating to us?
No, no one's. I'm violating the terms of the show, and I'm looking up what C means. From the Latin term celeritas, which means speed.
Oh, yeah.
Says amnh.org.
Well, there you go, Ben. The thing about Tokipona that's interesting, with only 120 words, you'd think that you'd run out of ways to describe stuff. But do you remember the Thing Explainer?
The Thing Explainer. I do not remember the Thing Explainer.
Okay, do you remember X? It's a comic strip, XK.
XKCD?
Is that it? XKCD?
Yeah.
Randall Munroe, who does that strip,
Yeah.
wrote a book called Thing Explainer that explains certain principles using only 1,000 words. And this kind of works in the same way. You break things down, right? So like moo, mu, is any animal sound. So dog says moo, cat says moo, cow says moo. Suwili is a mammal, right? Moku means eat. Me means I. So mi moku e suwili is I eat meat.
So much simpler.
Suwili li moku mi, the mammal ate me. Right? So moku can mean food and eat, and it depends on where it is in the sentence. And the thing that's crazy is I was working on a language that did this exact same thing. And then I found this language that someone else had already made that does this exact same thing. And not only that, they're using hobo sign pictogram type things to use as the letters, which is the other thing that I was going to be doing.
So you're like, boom, my work here is done.
My work here is done. And there are already people that speak it. I won't have to convert anybody to it. I just have to learn it now.
Yeah. So
and it's a little bit, yeah, that's what I'm studying. I'm looking into it. I'm looking and trying to learn it. It is a blow to the ego because now I'm not the one who wrote this, but this is part of the thing about getting rid of the social media stuff. If you don't care about getting credit for doing stuff, if you don't want anyone to be like, oh, look at this smart guy and all that, you can get a lot more stuff done. If you care about doing rather than getting credit for it. It's kind of interesting. I like it.
I get that. If as long as you let go of that part of you that needs that self-gratification. Or
exactly.
Not that self-gratification, but also the acceptance and acknowledgement from others.
Yeah, and the thing is that, I mean, you can get that acceptance and acknowledgement from people that you know, right? From
Right.
friends of yours and things like that. As long as you don't care about a whole bunch of strangers liking what you do, it's a lot easier. So I don't know. I made friends and I made contacts and stuff like that with the social media stuff. I mean, the giraffe and elephant book thing came
Right.
because of Facebook.
So you're still off. You're still off of all social medias. You haven't
Yep,
rejoined any one of them.
I have not, and I'm not planning on. It really is. Now I know what you're going to say, Paul. Paul, I know you well enough. You've done all this stuff before.
I've heard this story before.
True, yes, but I'm making it harder for myself, and I'm enjoying the fruits of my newfound freedom from social media. I'm getting a lot more TV watching it, and video game playing, and book reading, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of time for
There's
other
a
things
lot
when
of,
you're not staring at TikTok.
and
Or
my
trying to
dreams
come
are
up
better.
with content for TikTok.
Exactly.
Your dreams
And also
are
that,
better.
yeah, my dreams are better, more realistic, more fulfilling. It's interesting. I don't know why that is.
They're in landscape mode again and not portrait mode.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's really what made me. I was like, how did we ever decide that portrait mode was good all of a sudden? This doesn't seem right.
How
But
long until there's a movie theater that's built in portrait mode?
there's going to be a movie shot in portrait mode, if nothing else, for sure.
God.
So here's the thing I would say. Oh, actually, let me ask you a question. How many screens in portrait mode would make a movie theater mode? 4?
Well, if you're looking at a 16 by 9 picture, how many times does 9 go into 16? Like 2 and a bit. 2 and a bit.
2? No, it can't be right. No. Wait.
Well, 9
What?
times 2 is 18.
No.
So, yeah, if it's a 16 by 9 image, you flip that on its edge. How many times does 9 go into 16? 2 point, I don't know, like 2.5 or something. Not 2 1/4. It's not that, but
Hold on. Wait. I don't like it. I don't like it. So a 9 by 16 is a phone screen width?
yeah. When I have to make portrait videos for like Instagram or Facebook or whatever, the aspect ratio that I'm constantly asked for is 1080 by 1920, whereas a 16 by 9 landscape is 1920 by 1080. They just flip it on its edge. So it all depends on, what your movie screen aspect ratios, because there are different movie screen aspect ratios, right? There's not just 16 by 9. There's 2:3:5 to 1. There's a bunch of other ones. Like, Cinerama Scope is it's some absurd number.
Well, but the basic idea would be that you would shoot the movie and it would have, however many people all doing their own TikTok recording, and they're all in the same time period, and you just play them next to each other.
That's like the movie Time Code, except in portrait mode.
I never saw a time code, but yes, exactly. Or like, what was the Michel Gondry Subomato?
Oh yeah.
Video.
I don't remember the name of the song, but I know what you're talking about.
Hey, speaking about knowing what I'm talking about, guess what, Ben?
Hey, it's time to end.
We did it. Yep, exactly. Time to stop the show. Hold on, everybody. Because this thing's gonna stop. Oh, hey, one last thing I will say, just because I think it's neat. Bob Odenkirk, a hero of ours, I would say for sure.
Yeah.
someone that we greatly admire, got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
He did. He did indeed. Have you seen David Cross's speech
I
at this?
did.
Yeah.
Yes, it was really good.
Very funny.
Very very much a memento mori. Hey Bob, don't get such a big head about this sort of thing. But also,
No, really, I had no idea you were going to be standing so close.
I happened to watch the bus fight scene from Nobody
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And so great. So great. There's
That movie
actually a
saved-
thing
that-
on YouTube. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That movie saved his life.
Really?
He credits being in good so he had a heart attack on the set of Better Call Saul. You knew that part?
No. But now I do.
Yeah, Bob Odenkirk had he had a heart issue on the set of Better
Yeah.
Call Saul. And he claims that he was able to survive because he was in such good shape. And he was in such good shape because he trained for like 2 years to film Nobody.
Yeah. Wow.
So
That's
yeah.
crazy.
So let that be a life pro lesson for everybody. Just train for 2 years and film a rock hard action movie, and that'll save your life one of these days.
A doctor watched that scene on YouTube, did a breakdown, and talked about all the injuries that you could get from that thing. And when the guy kicks the knife through the guy's leg, do you remember that part? Oh, watch it again, Ben.
I'll have to go watch it again. I just remember there was a lot happening.
Yeah. I don't think that Betty or Jennifer has seen it. I might show that to you.
Time to watch it again.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Yep.
All right, Paul.